Good evening, everybody. It is a really dark night out, and I'm doing this extraordinarily late. Okay, so this is going to be the fourth type of mark making that we're going to be practicing in class, and it's actually called scribbling. Okay, now this is a very free kind of dancerly mark. What you're really practicing when you're scribbling is you're practicing contrasting light areas and dark areas together. Where the scribbles get tighter and more pronounced, things get darker. Where the scribbles are kept light, it stays light. So again, always trying to draw from observation. I'm just gonna draw a little object that I have here. I'm gonna draw my Bob Ross. You may or may not have seen him in previous videos of mine. He's my guru, my sage, as it were. Okay, so what you're going to do, and I kind of started making some scribbles on here, is you're going to kind of allow your hand to freely kind of make marks. And at first, you want to keep these marks separate, and you want to keep them, you want to kind of build up the space with the mark. So everything is going to get scribbled on. Like, this is not going to be a photorealistic drawing. Okay, we're not there yet. Okay, so I'm looking at the Bob Ross and I'm kind of figuring out, okay, this is the basic shape of his head. And because he's a pop doll, he has like a little tiny body, and the little tiny body is over here, right? And I'm not worried about details yet. I'm just trying to find out like basic shapes and stuff. And you can see kind of like I'm just building up the scribbles, and I'm going back and forth, and I'm not trying to show any kind of information yet. I'm going to in a moment. Right? And then he has a little foot and a paint bottle over here. So I'm going to maybe make that a little bit darker so I can see the paint bottle. Right? And then on this side, he has another little foot and a little shoe, and he's wearing overalls. He's adorable. Right? And then he has a brush. He's carrying a fan brush. If you ever saw Bob Ross and his peaceful voice on PBS on Channel 2, you know that he loved his fan brushes. Right, and then this is all that. Now, if you look at what I've done so far, that does not look like Bob Ross. Okay, I'm just kind of scribbling. I'm having fun looking at the object. Okay, now I'm going to start looking for the areas that are truly darker, and I'm going to keep on doing the scribbling. And as the scribbling gets tighter and tighter and tighter, you're going to start seeing the darker areas of Mr. Bob Ross' face over there kind of pop up. Okay. So I'm looking. He's got his glorious mane of 1970s fro going on. So I'm gonna make that darker, and I'm not really pressing any darker. I'm allowing the marks to kind of build up. And then this is all fro. This is all fro, and it's darker than his face. So I'm gonna start scribbling, and I'm going to make the fro be fro-like, and the fro has he's got like a little widow's peak, and it kind of pops down over here. And I'm looking at the way that the hair kind of wraps around the head, and the hair is darker, right? And then he's got those little pop eyeballs, right? And the beard and stuff like that. And everywhere where it gets darker, he's wearing a little hat over here, so I'm gonna squiggle a little hat over here. And then kind of like define that shape a little bit and be like a little white hat, right? And then he's got his beard, and he's kind of have like a weird oval face, and the beard is over here, and it's a little bit wider right by his chin. But like all pop dolls, he doesn't really have a nose or a mouth. It's all very just kind of like suggested on there, right? So this is all beard, and making that darker, and then being like, okay, well, he's got the big kind of circular eyeball. So again, I'm using that same mark, big circular eyeball over here, and big circular eyeball over here, and it's really big and kind of close to the edge of the face, so it's actually way over here. And I'm using that information over here to kind of just like put in where the info is. He's got kind of like a questioning eyebrow kind of thing going on over here. Questioning eyebrow. Excuse me. So we're still building up the scribble. So now I'm kind of going, and he's kind of smiling. So his mustache is really kind of like almost like a straight line over here. And I'm just looking for those different darknesses, and I'm scribbling. I'm not trying to be uber accurate, but I'm just trying to get a sense for general shape and the rest of it. Now he's wearing overalls. The overalls are kind of over here, and they're a little darker than the white shirt he's got on, and I'm just kind of doing that, and his little arm is over here, and again, I'm just being very loose and kind of dancing from thing to thing, right? So after you're working on this other brush making stuff, you're going to be going like this, and then this part is a little bit darker, so I'm just gonna kind of scribble, 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 and kind of eventually control what I'm looking at over here. And then this is the brush that he's holding, and his little arm is over here and holding onto that, and it causes a darker shadow on the underneath part of here. And this part is a little bit darker, and the brush is darker than his piece. And you notice that it's very kind of loose, and you know, he's got like a little crotch, his pants are over here, and little by little you're just kind of doing this very loose little drawing, little paint cup that his foot is stuck in because it's just adorable, right? And then just building that up, building that up, building that up, right? And then drawing his little pants and his little dark shoes. He's wearing dark brown shoes, and the dark brown shoes are darker than his pants. And you're just kind of adding the information on there, but it's very loose. It's very loose, and trying to build up, okay, what's darker and what's lighter. Like this paint bottle has white paint at the top of it, but it is a black paint bottle, so it's almost like the darkest thing there besides his eyes, right? And then you can kind of come in here, and you can kind of fix the shapes and be like, okay, this is a little bit longer, this is a little bit larger, those big black eyes, this is coming this way, his eyebrows are a little bit thicker, they bend down over here, got a little bit more of a shadow over here, and you can see kind of the shape happening. So you eventually get kind of like a scribbled place. But what you're practicing looking at is what's light, what's dark, and how to kind of get that information on there with very slow light to dark movements, okay? So this is also the next kind of drawing that we're going to be doing in class, and I'll see you soon. Take it easy.